Brené Brown, a research professor and best-selling author, launched the Gifts of Imperfection in 2010 as a guide to wholehearted living. Drawing on years of research into shame, vulnerability, and self-worth, Brown defines worthiness as the conviction that you are good enough as you are and that you deserve to be loved. Wholehearted living means engaging with life from a place of worthiness, waking up each morning thinking, no matter what gets done, I am enough, and going to bed acknowledging, yes, I am imperfect and vulnerable, but I am also brave and worthy of love and belonging. In other words, we live above the shame that tells us we're not enough. Brown argues that cultivating worthiness requires developing 3 core values, the gifts of imperfection. These are ordinary courage, being brave enough to be vulnerable; compassion, treating ourselves and others with kindness; connection, forming open, judgment-free bonds with others. These 3 values emerge only when we let ourselves be vulnerable. For example, when we admit our flaws, we build courage. When we empathize with others' flaws, we cultivate compassion. And when we accept ourselves, we authentically connect with people around us. Brown notes that if we were all perfect and invulnerable, we'd never need these gifts. It's our imperfection that makes them possible. Despite these gifts, Brown also explores what gets in the way. Chief among the obstacles is shame, the feeling that we are flawed and unworthy of love. She explains that shame works like the zoom lens on a camera. When we feel shame, all we see is our flawed selves alone and struggling. Shame tells us we're not good enough, making it impossible to feel worthy. Overcoming shame means developing shame resilience, recognizing shame when it hits, speaking about it with trusted people, and questioning whether it's even justified. Guideposts for wholehearted living. To counter these obstacles, Brown structures the book around 10 guideposts, 1 per chapter, for living wholeheartedly. Each guidepost pairs a positive practice with a letting go theme. In effect, Brown shows us how to replace destructive habits with life-giving ones. Below, we walk through each guidepost, highlighting its core insight and key takeaways. Guidepost 1. Cultivating authenticity. Letting go of what people think. Brown begins with authenticity. This means showing up truly as ourselves without a mask. She writes, "Authenticity is a collection of choices that we have to make every day. It's about the choice to show up and be real, to let our true selves be seen." In practice, authenticity requires us to let go of who we think we're supposed to be and embrace who we are. As one summary explains, sacrificing who we are for the sake of what other people think just isn't worth it. Key insight: most people value authenticity and feel comfortable around real people. Yet our culture pressures us to people please or fit in. Authenticity is a daily practice of choosing vulnerability over the illusion of perfection. Quote, Brown reminds us that perfectionism and people-pleasing are cages. Perfectionism is trying to gain approval and acceptance from others. Shame gives birth to perfectionism. We must resist those traps and simply be ourselves. Takeaway: when we show up as ourselves, even when it's scary, we open the door to real connection and self-acceptance. It takes courage, as Brown notes. Courage originally meant to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. But authenticity brings freedom. In short, authenticity is choosing vulnerability instead of conforming. It's the first step toward a wholehearted life. Guidepost 2. Cultivating self-compassion, letting go of perfectionism. The second guidepost tackles perfectionism by cultivating self-compassion. Brown makes a crucial distinction between healthy striving and perfectionism. She warns, understanding the difference between healthy striving and perfectionism is critical. Perfectionism hampers success. In fact, it's often the path to depression, anxiety, addiction, and life paralysis. In other words, perfectionism is not motivation, it's a defense. It is trying to control people's perceptions of you by hiding flaws and projecting an image of being perfect. Key insight: perfectionism is fueled by shame. We pursue impossible standards to feel acceptable. But Brown argues that a better antidote is self-compassion, treating ourselves with the same kindness we'd offer a friend. She reminds us we cannot ignore our pain and feel compassion for it at the same time. To feel self-compassion, we must first acknowledge our pain and imperfections. Quote, one memorable line Brown uses is, "We cannot selectively numb emotions. When we numb the painful emotions, we also numb the positive emotions." Although that quote is in the next guidepost, it applies here. If we perfect ourselves to avoid feeling unworthy, we end up unable to feel joy or love. Takeaway: perfectionism gives birth to more perfectionism and shame. Instead, practicing self-compassion, forgiving our flaws and speaking to ourselves with kindness, breaks the cycle. Brown encourages exercises like mindfulness and journaling to shift our inner critic toward an inner coach. This way, we let go of the idea that we must be flawless and accept that imperfections are reminders that we're all in this together. By cultivating self-compassion, we learn to pursue goals with a healthy mindset, not an anxious one. Guidepost 3, cultivating a resilient spirit, letting go of numbing and powerlessness. Next, Brown explores resilience. She found that people who bounce back from setbacks tend to have certain traits. Key among these is facing our emotions rather than shutting down. Many people cope with pain by numbing, through alcohol, overwork, distraction, etc. But Brown emphasizes that numbing backfires. As she puts it, we cannot selectively numb emotions. When we numb the painful emotions, we also numb the positive emotions. If we dull our pain, we also lose our capacity for joy, love, gratitude, and creativity. Key insight: resilient people process their feelings rather than avoiding them. Brown's research identified 3 spiritual resources that build resilience: hope, critical awareness, and letting go of numbing. For instance, cultivating hope means setting goals and believing in our own abilities. Practicing critical awareness means questioning media messages and social pressures that tell us we're not enough. And crucially, she advises us to let emotions live, feeling discomfort instead of numbing it. Quote, Brown defines intuition in this context, not as a mystical power, but as our ability to hold space for uncertainty and our willingness to trust the many ways we've developed knowledge and insight. Part of resilience is trusting that even in uncertainty we have resources, faith, gut feelings, experience to guide us. Takeaway: to cultivate a resilient spirit, we must embrace spirituality and faith in a broad sense, recognizing we are connected to something larger, whether it's community, nature, or a higher power, love and compassion. We practice feeling our feelings, for example, mindfully breathing through anxiety or journaling out fears. Over time, anxiety loses its hold as we grow, because we prove to ourselves that we can endure discomfort. In summary, Brown's advice is to lean into vulnerability during hard times. Cry, reach out, or sit quietly and breathe. These choices build resilience. Numbing offers only a short escape. True resilience comes from processing pain and remembering we can survive it. Guidepost 4. Cultivating gratitude and joy. Letting go of scarcity and fear of the dark. Brown's 4th guidepost deals with joy and gratitude. She observes that many people hold back from joy because they're afraid it won't last, or that feeling happy is an invitation for trouble. This fear keeps our joy in check. Instead, Brown encourages us to actively practice gratitude so we can fully experience positive emotions. Key insight: gratitude is a skill to cultivate. Brown suggests keeping a daily journal of things we're thankful for, pausing during a stressful day to name even small blessings, or creating gratitude art, any habitual practice that reminds us of what's good. These practices shift focus from scarcity, never enough, to abundance, I have enough. In her words, when we remember to be grateful, we combat the fear that something will go wrong and allow joy to enter. Quote, a powerful line Brown uses is, "The dark does not destroy the light. It defines it. It's our fear of the dark that casts our joy into the shadows. This metaphor suggests that we cannot have light, joy, without darkness, pain. It's our fear of darkness that dims the light. By naming and normalizing our fear, we let the light shine. Takeaway: by letting go of scarcity, we allow ourselves to feel grateful in the moment. Brown's research shows that people who live more joyfully often keep gratitude journals or rituals. For us, this means actively savoring small pleasures, a meal with friends, a good night's sleep, a moment of nature, and acknowledging, right now, I have enough and I am grateful. Over time, this practice breaks the habit of bracing for disaster and teaches us that joy can coexist with imperfection. In practice, cultivate gratitude and fully lean into moments of joy. Let yourself laugh, celebrate, and give thanks, knowing that feeling good in the present is not a betrayal of future sorrow, but a gift of life. Guidepost 5. Cultivating intuition and trusting faith. Letting go of the need for certainty. The fifth guidepost is about intuition and faith. Brown points out that our need for certainty often silences our inner voice. We may be afraid to trust our gut or spiritual beliefs, seeking instead endless external validation. This leaves us feeling stuck, waiting for life to fit a script. Brown urges us to let go of that need for 100% certainty and learn to trust the unknown. Key insight: intuition and faith are forms of internal knowing. Brown defines intuition as more than sixth sense. It's the willingness to hold uncertainty and trust all sources of wisdom, instinct, experience, reason, even faith. Cultivating intuition means listening to that quiet inner nudge and acting, rather than constantly asking others, "What should I do?" Quote, Brown describes spirituality, which she includes here, as recognizing and celebrating that we are all inextricably connected, and that our connection to that power and to one another is grounded in love and compassion. In other words, having faith, religious or not, is believing there is a larger story that binds us and that we are not alone. Takeaway: to practice this guidepost, start small. Trust a simple intuition, e.g., taking a different route home, speaking up when you normally hold back, and see that uncertainty is survivable. Let go of feeling paralyzed by, "What if it's wrong?" In Brown's view, faith gives us the courage to move forward even when the path isn't clear. By trusting ourselves in something bigger, we step into life rather than cling to the illusion of control. Ultimately, Brown says that embracing uncertainty opens us to creativity and possibility. When we let go of the need for certainty, we free our hearts to follow intuition and courage instead. Guidepost 6. Cultivating creativity. Letting go of comparison. In Guidepost 6, Brown urges us to cultivate creativity by letting go of comparison. We often sabotage our creative impulses by measuring ourselves against others. Comparisons fuel feelings of inadequacy and envy and steal our joy. Brown warns that comparison is the thief of joy. It turns our focus outward instead of valuing our own unique expression. Key insight: everyone has creativity inside. It just needs a chance to be expressed. Brown notes, there's no such thing as creative and non-creative people. Only people who use their creativity and people who don't. Unused creativity doesn't vanish. It lives within us until it's expressed, neglected to death, or suffocated by resentment and fear. When we compare, we suffocate our originality because we start chasing someone else's idea of success instead of our own. Quote, Brown reminds us, the only unique contribution that we will ever make in this world will be born of our creativity. This highlights that true meaning in work and life comes from expressing our individual gifts, not imitating others. Takeaway: letting go of comparison means embracing your own creative journey. Rather than asking, am I as good as they are? Ask, what can I create? This might mean painting badly, writing imperfectly, or doodling on a napkin. The goal is to create without judgment. When we resist comparison, we also weaken the shame that says we're not good enough. Over time, we learn that using our creativity, in any form, is a path to feeling more alive and connected. In practice, Brown suggests regular creative activities: drawing, gardening, tinkering, or any hobby where you follow your own instincts. As you create, celebrate each small step. This habit strengthens authenticity, since creativity springs from who you are, and reminds you that your ideas matter, even if they're different from anyone else's. Guidepost 7. Cultivating play and rest. Letting go of exhaustion and productivity as self-worth. Guidepost 7 addresses our frenetic culture of busyness. Brown observes that exhaustion has become a status symbol. The busier and more exhausted you are, the more successful or important you feel. She challenges this by valuing play and rest as essential practices. In her words, play is purposeless. It's play for the sake of play, doing something because we want to. Key insight: rest and play are not laziness, they are human needs. Brown cites research showing the opposite of play is not work but depression. Without play, we lose creativity and joy. We need downtime to recharge. Similarly, getting enough sleep and rest keeps our bodies and minds healthy. Brown urges us to stop wearing exhaustion as a badge of honor. She quotes play expert Stuart Brown. The opposite of play is not work. The opposite of play is depression. True play is the only path to finding lasting joy and satisfaction in our work. As paraphrased in Takeaway, make time for seemingly non-productive activities. This could be taking a walk without agenda, playing a board game, or simply lying down for a few extra minutes. By letting go of exhaustion as self-worth, we allow ourselves to refill our creative and emotional wells. The result is paradoxical. When we come back to work or responsibility, we are actually more engaged and effective. Brown says living wholeheartedly requires a conscious effort to cultivate sleep and play, because when we're well-rested and playful, we are more resilient, joyful, and creative. In short, reclaiming play and rest combats the shame that only constant doing makes us valuable. Play is an act of courage in our culture. It restores perspective and reminds us that life is meant to be enjoyed. Guidepost 8. Cultivating calm and stillness. Letting go of anxiety as a lifestyle. Eighth guidepost focuses on anxiety, calm, and stillness. Brown notes that in our fast-paced world, many of us live in a constant state of low-level anxiety, driven by the fear that we must always do more and do it perfectly. She encourages us to let go of anxiety as a lifestyle and instead cultivate daily practices of calm and stillness. Key insight: anxiety is normal, but it shouldn't run our lives. Brown defines calm as creating perspective and mindfulness while managing emotional reactivity, and stillness as creating a clearing or an emotionally clutter-free space. These are skills we can develop through practice. Simple. Techniques like focused breathing, meditation, or even mindful pauses during the day can build our capacity for calm. Quote, reflecting on this, Brown writes, "In our increasingly complicated and anxious world, we need more time to do less and be less. But as our practices become stronger, anxiety loses its hold and we gain clarity about what we're doing, where we're going, and what holds true meaning for us." This insight emphasizes that slowing down is not laziness but a necessary balance. Takeaway: each day intentionally carve out moments of stillness. It might be 5 deep breaths before checking email, or an evening routine without screens. By letting go of the need to always be busy, we signal to our bodies and minds that it's safe to relax. Over time, this reduces chronic stress and helps us to notice what truly matters. Calm and stillness reconnect us to our inner wisdom, improving everything from decision-making to creativity. Ultimately, Brown's guidance here is practical. Cultivate a personal mindfulness routine. This could be prayer, meditation, yoga, or simply a quiet cup of tea with full attention. These acts of calm become the groundwork for a more centered, wholehearted life. Guidepost 9. Cultivating meaningful work. letting go of self-doubt and supposed to. The ninth guidepost is about meaningful work. Brown's research found that doing work aligned with our gifts and passions is a powerful source of meaning and well-being. Conversely, ignoring our talents or feeling stuck in a job we hate leads to emotional distress. She calls on us to let go of self-doubt and the idea of what we should be doing, and instead listen to what truly makes us come alive. Key insight: we each have unique gifts and talents. When we ignore them, we pay a price: emptiness, frustration, resentment, shame, disappointment, even grief. Brown notes that squandering our gifts is not merely benign. We pay for it with our emotional and physical well-being. Conversely, using our gifts, even in part-time or volunteer ways, creates meaning and connection. Quote, she references theologian Howard Thurman. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. This call to action encourages us to pursue work or side projects that energize us, rather than chasing external expectations. Takeaway: overcoming self-doubt starts with accepting, I am enough and my talents matter. Let go of the voice that says I'm not qualified or I should do the safe thing. Instead, experiment. Take a class, start a passion project, or even volunteer in a new field. Brown reminds us that no one else can define what's meaningful for us. We each must discover it ourselves. Sharing our gifts might require courage, maybe retraining or downsizing comfort, but it pays off in purpose. By following what makes you come alive, we not only find personal satisfaction, but also offer a unique contribution to the world. Meaningful work is about alignment, doing something that feels authentic to you, not something you feel supposed to do. Guidepost 10. Cultivating laughter, song, and dance, letting go of being cool and in control. The final guidepost may surprise some. Brown highlights the spiritual power of laughter, song, and dance. These joyful acts, often spontaneous and vulnerable, build connection and remind us of our shared humanity. The title of this chapter, Letting Go of Being Cool and Always in Control, sums it up. When we constantly try to appear composed or cool, we shut down the playful, authentic parts of ourselves. Key insight: joyful self-expression is courage. Laughter, singing, dancing, especially in a group, creates an instant bond. Brown notes that laughter, song, and dance create emotional and spiritual connection. They remind us we are not alone. For example, her concept of knowing laughter is a wordless agreement between people that says, I'm with you, I get it. When we laugh together over a shared story, it affirms that others have similar fears and dreams. Quote, she writes, knowing laughter embodies the relief and connection we experience when we realize the power of sharing our stories. We're not laughing at each other, but with each other. This highlights how dropping our guard, stifling laughter, or spontaneous dancing in public can feel vulnerable, but it actually fosters trust. Brown points out how many people fear public laughter or dancing, thinking, what will people think? You look ridiculous. These fears come from the insecurity of wanting to look good enough. Takeaway: to embrace this guidepost, give yourself permission to be silly. Sing loudly in the car. Dance when a song makes you smile. Let children see you being joyful and unself-conscious. By letting go of being cool and in control, you affirm to yourself and others that imperfections, like off-key singing, are perfectly normal. As Brown warns, choosing cool over authenticity betrays ourselves. On the other hand, liberating laughter or dance is profoundly healing. It tells our inner critic to shush and reminds us that life's beauty often lies in the messy, joyful moments. Conclusion: throughout the Gifts of Imperfection, Brene Brown tells us that vulnerability is not a weakness, but the path to true engagement with life. By embracing imperfection, we unlock wholehearted living. A life marked by courage, compassion, connection, joy, and meaning. Each guidepost is a lesson in saying yes to ourselves and no to shame. As Brown puts it, the most important belief is that worthiness doesn't have prerequisites. We are worthy now, exactly as we are. This journey is not a one-time fix, but a lifelong practice. Brown's book reminds us that real change happens daily. We must be deliberate in our thoughts and actions, to dig deep with deliberate intention, inspired belief, and going forward with our choices. In a story-like journey from shame to self-acceptance, each chapter encourages us to replace fear with faith, perfectionism with compassion, anxiety with stillness, and detachment with joy. For viewers seeking personal growth and resilience, the Gifts of Imperfection offers both practical tools and heartfelt encouragement. Its core message is simple yet profound. Wholehearted living is about engaging in our lives from a place of worthiness. You, the listener, are invited to embrace that gift of worthiness right now, imperfections and all, and walk this path of authenticity, creativity, and wholehearted love every day.